Hi, my name is Marian Jones, and today I'm going to be teaching you the basics of crochet. With over 20 years of experience, I've got a lot to share. So get your yarn and your hook ready and let's get into it. One of the most important things to learn is how to hold your yarn. This is going to determine your yarn tension, which is how tight your yarn is or how loose your yarn is, which will affect how things turn out. So you don't want your stitches being too tight or too loose, because that could definitely affect the shape of your project. So it's important to have enough tension where the yarn's not falling off of your hands, but also gliding through your fingers. So if you want to practice this motion a couple of times, and eventually you may find your own way of holding the yarn. There's no right way to do it. This is just how I've been doing it my entire life. So just practice. You can play around with it, do different variations, but the main thing is you want it to glide through your fingers. So you can see here I'm pulling, it's not catching, it's just gliding right through. The next thing you want to figure out is how you're going to hold your hook. So this is how I hold it, like a remote, but you can also hold it like utensils or like a pen. I'm going to demonstrate both ways so you can see how they both look, and there's no right way to do this. You can choose either. Next up, I'm going to show you how to do the loop and start chaining, which is what I'm doing here in the video. So don't worry, you're not falling behind, you're right where you need to be. Alright, let's wind that yarn right back up on our fingers, and now I'm going to show you how to make the starting loop. So this is the foundation to everything. I'm going to show you a couple times how to do it, but basically you're just wrapping the yarn away from you on your index finger. So you can see I'm wrapping the end over my finger and then pinching it with the long side, and our working yarn is on top and the tail is on bottom. We're going to make the loop, pinch it, and then hold it in our left hand. Insert the hook through the loop from front to back. Pinch the tail with our thumb and index finger on our right hand. Another alternative is to do a slip knot. So you would make the same loop, but then take the working yarn and pull it through. I don't like doing this because it's going to make a knot at the end of your work. So you're always going to feel that little knot in there, but you can do it. Some patterns will tell you to do this, so it's good to know how to do, but I don't do that. And like I said, there's no wrong or right way to do these things. Do what works for you, and if you're happy with the outcome of it, that's really all that matters. Let's hit the brakes real quick. You are about to learn how to crochet. Are you sure you're ready for that? It is going to consume your life, and you're going to make beautiful things. You ready? Alright, we are ready to learn how to chain. So to chain, we are taking our hook, going in front of the yarn, scooping it up, and pulling it through. So this is called a yarn over and pull it through. Yarn over and pull it through. The chain is how you're going to start every project, so it's really important to get this move down. So you're going to yarn over and pull it through, and every repetition counts as one stitch. So this is chain 3 and chain 4, and just keep practicing this until it becomes more natural to you. Once you've got that down, we're going to start on the single crochet. So with a single crochet, you're going to turn your chain and work into each of the little loops on your chain. So we're going to insert our hook into the loop, and we're going to pull up the thread back through that same loop. So you're going to yarn over the same way we did in the chain, but instead of pulling it through, you're going to pull it through that loop, and then you'll have 2 loops on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over like the chain and pull through both of the loops. It's also important to be holding your work with your left thumb and maybe middle finger, whatever feels kind of comfortable, just so that your work is not moving away from you. You want to hold on to it. You can see how I'm kind of shifting it between my hands, but let's continue with a single crochet. So pulling it through 2 loops. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, let's slow it down a little. So we're gonna insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. This is a single crochet. And now we've finished this row. So we've got a foundation of chains and single crochets on top. Alright, let's familiarize ourselves with how stitches look. So you can see the loops here on the bottom and here on the top, and each of those little V's counts as 1 stitch. Alright, next up we're going to learn the double crochet. This is probably going to be your most used stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook 2 loops from the hook, pull up a loop, then you'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, then you'll have 2 left, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2. And you've made your first double crochet. Good job. Alright, let's do it again. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Alright, let's slow this one down too. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Now we've got a finished row of double crochets on a chain. Alright, let's count our stitches. So let's go from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Alright, we're going to make another row of double crochets on top of this, but we're going to start with a standing double crochet. So insert your hook into that first stitch and you'll have 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 1 loop, and then you've got 2, yarn over, skip that first one, so hold it down and go through the second one. And it's going to kind of twist it and make it a little tight, but then you're going to have 2. Let me show you again. So keep that first one and only yarn through the second one. Then you've got 2, yarn over and pull it through that 2. Okay, before we get into the next row, let me show you a couple of different variations on where you can put your stitches and what they're called. So typically we would work through both of the top loops like this, double crochet, beautiful. So you can see if you're looking from the top, you'll see these little V's. Going through both of those is what you would typically do. Some patterns may say to work in the front loop only or in the back loop only. So that's what I'm showing you now. But for the sake of this video, we're going to work through both. Show you a very common mistake that happens, and that's missing the last stitch. So it's important to count your stitches at each row until you get a little bit more familiar with what you're doing. So I'm only counting 13 on the top row, but if you remember, we had 14 on the bottom row. And if you don't have your even stitches, then you're going to end up having a triangle piece and not a rectangle piece. If you remember on that first double crochet row, we started double crocheting 2 chains from our hook, and that chain is where we need to work our next double crochet. So now we've got 14 on both rows, and if we continue like this, we're going to have straight edges. Alright, let's start again. So we're going to chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. You can do however many you want to. I'm going to do 13 in total. The next stitch that we're going to learn is called a half double crochet. So this is somewhere between a double crochet and a single crochet. And it starts off the same as a double crochet, but we're going to pull through 3 loops instead of 2 and then 2. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You've got 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Alright, let's slow it down. So we're going to insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull it through 3. This is a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. For our second row of half double crochet, we are going to turn our work and do a standing half double crochet in this first stitch. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2. And now we're going to continue half double crocheting in each stitch across. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. This is a half double crochet. Now we're finishing up this last stitch on this row, and remember to count your stitches and make sure you have the same number as the previous row so that your work does not become slanted. We want it to stay the same number so that it goes in a straight line and is even, so just make sure to count after each row. Our next row is the same as the row we just did, so a standing half double crochet and then half double crochet in each stitch across. Make sure you work into that last stitch so that our stitches are even. So if you want to count them one more time, you can, but just make sure you always work into that last stitch. On this next row, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to be working into the back bumps of the half double crochet. We're going to start with a standing half double crochet through both loops, and then I'm going to zoom in so you can see these little bumps that we're working into here and here instead of the top. We usually work into this top loop, but now we're working into the back bump. So it's going to form a braid on the front by pushing it forward. It's going to push the top little V's forward. On the final half double crochet, you want to make sure that you go through 2 of the loops. So you can kind of see the little V there from the previous row, but you want to make sure you go through both and not just one, like the back bump, or it's going to make a little hole on the edge of your work. And we want it to be nice and sturdy and not have any noticeable gaps or holes in it. This way it'll keep going straight, so if you need to count your stitches again, you can do that. But now you can see this cool little braid on the front. Next up, we're going to learn how to work in the front loop and the back loop. So right now we're going to do a single crochet into the front loop of our work. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And now you can see that it's leaving out those back stitches just to give a little definition. The abbreviation for this is FLO, so front loop only. So this would be single crochet in front loop only. So SCNFLO. And then go through 2 loops on that last stitch just to anchor it all in. And if you turn your work, you can see that it's got a little line across here, and that's the definition that working in the front loop only gives. Next up, we're going to try the back loop only. So it's the same thing, same single crochet, but into the back loops. You can see that it's starting to form the same definition, but in the opposite way on this side as it did on the previous row. Time to count our stitches again, just to make sure we're still going in a straight line. The final stitch I'm going to show you today is called the treble stitch, so the TR stitch. So we're going to start the same way with a standing, and this one's going to be a standing treble crochet. So pull it through the first one, skip that first, and pull it through the second, and then we're going to do this again. So yarn over, pull through that first one, and then yarn over, skip the first, pull through the second, and now yarn over and pull through both. So this is a standing treble crochet. For the treble crochet, we're going to yarn over 2 times. So 1, 2, and then insert the hook into the next stitch. Pull up a loop. You've got 4 loops on your hook now. Yarn over, pull through 2, now you have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, now you've got 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over 2 times, hold your yarn down, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and you've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You've now learned how to chain, single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and treble crochet. That's amazing. Undoing yarn in crochet is called frogging because you are ripping the yarn, so it makes the sound of a frog, like ribbit, ribbit. If you're wondering what kind of yarn I'm using, I have been using a cotton yarn. This is the brand Peaches and Cream. You can find it at most craft stores, at Walmart, and it's a great yarn to start with. Acrylic yarn is also another great beginner yarn. If you're looking for something affordable, I recommend the Red Heart yarn. It's easy to find, easy to work with, and it washes and dries really nicely too. There are different sizes of yarns and hooks, and today I was using a size 4 yarn and a size 5.5 millimeter hook. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. If so, please consider subscribing and check out my website, fineandfiberarts.com/shop, and follow me on Instagram at marian.jones.art.